70 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
All right, thank you for tuning in. If you are looking for a good book to read this weekend and you want to recognize some of the settings, or the setting, I guess you might say, in the book, we have one to recommend to you. It is called Strange, and it's written by Greg Didaleusky. Am I saying your name right, Greg? No. You're going to help me out in a second. How do I always forget to say your name? Greg, G.L. Didaleusky. There's, how do you say your name? I'm not even going to try.
Didaleusky.
What is it?
Didaleusky.
Didaleusky. Didaleusky. All right, Didaleusky. Wait, it doesn't look like that, does it?
I know.
And Holly is with you.
Yes.
Holly Didaleusky. Well, you look nice. Did you change your hair since last time? You look nice. No? Same?
No,
different?
It's different.
Looks different. Yeah. Well, good to see you guys. There's the cover of the book on the podcast. If you're looking at the podcast, it's there. But I have Greg in the studio with us. So let me just switch cameras and go there. There's Greg and Holly. Good morning to both of you again.
Good morning.
How's everything?
Doing good. Real good.
Are you popping out a book every time?
Every year.
Yeah.
Every year. Well, actually, it lasts every 10 months.
Is that
probably.
a goal? Is it a passion? Is it a...
Well, it's a passion, definitely.
Yeah.
Writing is a passion.
Is it possible that you're working on more than one at a time?
I have ideas. I've started 2 other books. I just, a couple of chapters, a couple of outlines, and then now I'll try this, I have a couple of them in the workings. I'm starting the other book. I'm a little over halfway through. That'll come out probably next March or April.
And all your books are standalone. I mean, you don't have to read the book prior to it, too.
No, there's no. I don't have a sequel.
There's no running theme.
Mm-hmm.
No, I thought about it. A lot of people do. I know. I like the different stories, like new characters coming in.
Right. In this one, the sick children at Ocala Regional Medical Center
correct.
are waking up cured.
Yes, they are.
Okay. That's a good thing.
Yes, that's good.
But the doctors can't figure out why, right?
It's a mystery. It's a medical mystery why they can't.
So you're a physician.
Physician assistant.
Okay.
A retired PA.
Okay, but I mean, you have a professional background.
Medical background.
With medical.
Oh, yeah.
So has that ever happened where somebody just wakes up cured and nobody knows why?
The Awakening of Robin Williams, that was based on a true story where these comatose patients woke up and they walked around it. Then, of course, they went back into their coma. Mm-hmm. But it's a happening. They call it a happening.
I guess I got to see that movie again.
Yeah, it was really good. It was based on a true character, true story. But there are a lot of incidences, miracles they call them, in medicine where people, for whatever reason, they survive or their cancer goes away, and either was misdiagnosed, or in fact there was a miracle somehow. It happened.
Okay, yeah.
There's a lot of mysteries and medical mysteries.
The lead character is the doctor, but he's gone through something different, right?
Say that again.
The lead character is a doctor.
Adam Stafford.
I can't remember his name. Yeah. Okay, and he's actually going the other direction, right? He's got bad dreams, right?
Oh, he has dreams. Yeah, the book starts off with him dreaming. They're very
scary.
vivid, very realistic.
Yeah.
And it frightens him to wake up. He has frightening scenes.
Holly, do you read the books? Yeah. Do you get scared? I would love reading about children getting better. I like that part.
Yeah.
Right.
I'd stay pinned to the book till I'm done.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Well, me too.
I normally read from beginning to end. I'm not one to set it down if it's good.
Well, you look really good. Boy, you look really great. What are you, working out or something? You're looking good. You're looking good. Where do you guys live? Do you live? I can't remember. I know you've told me before.
We live in Ocala. We live at over 326 State Road 326.
Okay.
Over by Robin. Actually.
Okay.
I love the relationship between Adam and his cousin Lisa. I love that relationship because it's not just two people getting together for the moment. Sometimes you have flashbacks of their personality.
That's right.
When they were children and growing up,
yeah,
and I really like that bond.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
So we're not really being fair. So let me stop talking and just give you a chance to kind of tell the audience the movie trailer version of the story in Strange. Greg Didaleusky.
Greg Didaleusky.
Thank you. Is in the studio, and Greg's name doesn't look like it's spelled Didaleusky. It's Didaleusky, and it doesn't even have his first name, so it's GL if you're looking it up on.
I told you last time, my name's too long to put it on a book, so I had
Greg, it's too long.
GL.
Yeah. But if you look on Amazon, that's how you find the book. So give us the movie trailer version.
Okay. It starts off with Dr. Adam Stafford. He has these dreams, has a dream at the beginning of the book, and wakes up. It feels so real. And then through the story, it talks about two children are deathbed children that are terminally ill. There's no hope for them to survive. Wow. And then all of a sudden, two of them awaken one morning, completely cured. And Dr. Stafford's puzzled. The medical staff at Ocala Regional Medical Center is puzzled. So they try to find out how and why they revived from their deathbed illnesses. And then on the other side of town, there's an archaeologist, Lisa Douglas, who's doing research on recently discovered artifacts in a Mayan cave in the Yucatan Peninsula. And she has to decipher these hieroglyphs, which were strange. Even the curators at the Gainesville Museum couldn't figure out what they meant. So she tries to decipher these. And there's somehow a connection between, then there's a 12-year-old boy that was admitted to the hospital at Ocala Regional Medical Center with a fever of unknown origin. The fever, they don't know what caused it. The parents don't know what caused it. And somehow the 12-year-old boy, Arius Turner, and Adam Stafford in the hospital, and the deathbed children who awoken, and the archaeologist who's deciphering these Mayan relics, they're all connected somehow. And the book takes forth from there.
No wonder you couldn't put it down, Holly.
And the parents, too. I mean, Dr. Stafford is bothered by Arius's parents.
Oh, yeah, correct. Yeah, the parents are sort of, Arius Turner's parents are different. Let's put that way. I'll leave it that to the readers.
We don't want to give too much away.
So how long has the book been out?
June 15th it came out.
Oh, very new. So has anybody in the hospital actually read? I don't mean like doctors, but I mean patients. Anybody lying in their bed reading your book?
I hope so.
Yeah, that would be so awesome.
Well,
it had to have taken you a lot of research, though. Also,
I do a lot of research on all my books. This one, I learned a lot about the Mayan culture. And I learned a lot. It was fascinating about the Mayan culture, how far advanced they were. They had a calendar that was way before the Gregorian calendar that we used I think it started in the 14th century, that we start using today. But the Mayans had a calendar that was more accurate than theirs.
Did they have 7 days in the week?
What's that?
Did the Mayan calendar have 7 days in the week?
Yes.
Isn't that something? That's one thing.
And they knew the moon phases, too.
Every culture has 7 days in the week.
Yeah, they knew the moon culture. They knew the moon phases, and they knew when to plant and not plant. We're talking about 1,000 years ago, and you figure 1,000 years ago, people were still running around. I mean, there wasn't anything. So, but they were way far advanced in science, the Mayans, and other cultures, the Aztecs, of course, the pyramids, Egyptians,
And they easily could be 5,000 years old, right? The pyramids?
Oh, yeah, the pyramids are 5,000.
We don't really know, do we?
That tells you in the book. That answers that question in the book.
Oh, it does?
Oh, yeah.
Speculates.
Speculation, but based on a lot of watching Discovery Channel.
Which question? Which question?
The question is there a connection between all these, the pyramids, and the engineering knowledge the Egyptian had, and the Mayans had, and the Aztecs had, and actually even in the United States we have these mounds that were built way before the Indians.
And there was a
on
connection.
The eastern.
The world maybe was communicating with the.
Somehow.
Maybe
maybe
we were more advanced than we realized, and something happened.
That's right. Yeah.
The forces that are going on in your book don't just affect Dr. Stafford in his general area. I mean, he makes phone calls to different part of the country, right. And all of a sudden,
he does. He's like
these things
does
happen.
Research. That's
yeah.
Right.
But these things happen to the other people he's in connection with, and
that's right. Just like any medical thing, there's a medical problem that's really puzzling, and a doctor in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, can't figure out. He can go on the internet and just ask doctors or scientists throughout the world this question: well, I have this patient with this particular thing. What do you think it is, or what other steps should I take? So it's a global knowledge that is shared with everybody. Everybody shares with each other if you have a question. It's not like the old days where you have to write a letter.
Right.
Go wait to the post office, it gets to Oshkosh, Wisconsin, or wherever.
Right.
And get an answer back. You get an answer back almost immediately now with the internet.
I want to tell you a story, and it's from me personally. When I was a younger guy, I worked for the juvenile detention center, and I had to keep tabs on the kids that I was working with because they were on house arrest. And if they ever left the house, they had to let me know, because if I showed up and they weren't there, they were going to go back in to the detention center. All right. So I was falling asleep on the couch, and I had this like mini dream, little tiny, very, very, very real dream. And all I saw in the dream was the girl's mom, the girl that was incarcerated, her mom on a phone. That's all I saw visually. But I knew she was calling me. I sat up. I was still living at home with my parents.
Wow.
And my sister was there, and I said to my sister, I don't want to say the lady's name, but I said her name. She's going to call me right now. The phone rang, and I knew. It wasn't that I wondered. I knew.
Wow.
So, so that was my only time in my life where I ever had an experience that I thought, okay, well, I don't know how to turn it on and turn it off, but maybe some people really are psychic. Maybe they can do it all the time.
I think so. And there are a lot of paranormal activities. I mean, they have a TV series about it, of course. But a lot of it's based on truth. I'll give you a prime example. In my short story book, Grandfather's Closet, and it's based on a true story. When I was 5 years old, my brother was laying next to me in bed, and we were living in my dad's grandparents, or my dad's mother's house. He had just died, so we're laying in bed there at his house, and I heard there was a closet to our left, and I heard a creak, and my grandfather walked out with this big black hat and cape, stood at the foot of the bed. Wow. I was 5 years old. It's like it happened yesterday. Wow. And I kept bumping my brother Denny. I said, wake up, Grandpa's here, Grandpa's here. And he woke up, and my brother's hard to wake up. So anyways, he sort of got up, and then I looked towards him again, and I looked back, Grandpa was gone. But it was so real. I told my mom the next morning, she says, well, my mom was really sweet and very compassionate. She says, well, it was probably Grandpa, just wanted to make sure you kids were doing okay.
Oh,
and how long had it been gone?
Good morning, Jim.
At that point?
Oh, probably 2 months, 3 months.
Wow, it was so real.
But it was so real. To this day, I can just visualize it. And I wasn't dreaming. I know I wasn't. So.
Well, that's the thing. Okay, that's the thing. If we refer to it as a dream, same thing with me. I refer to it as a dream. That's what's going on in the book. That's what I'm wondering. Is this doctor's dream? I mean, you created this, so I guess you'd be the only one who would know.
I know the answer to it. You'll find the answer at the end of the book.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh my gosh, okay.
You can't tell.
Oh man.
That's why this book is so good, because you really have every element in there. I mean, I love the dialogue you've written, and I love the scenarios, and I couldn't wait to find out what happened next, and that's the truth. And Holly, I really concur with what you're saying.
How do you work as far as writing goes? I mean, can you give us what do you do? Do you do it early in the morning?
Yes, I do. I wake up at usually 5 o'clock, around 5, maybe 10 to 5. I take our little dog Muffy with me in my computer room down at the other end of the house, and she slays right. I have an L-shaped desk.
You have a different place you write from where you live?
Oh, okay. No, down. Did I say down? The end of the house.
Oh, at the end of the house. Okay.
End of the house. I have a computer room. I have an L-shaped desk, and I put her on there. She's a little thing, about 10 pounds, and she just lays there and looks up at Daddy. And
a dog.
A dog.
Okay.
A Muffy. I'm sorry.
Muffy the dog.
Muffy the dog.
No, you said something Muffy dog.
Muffy dog.
Yeah.
Well, I do call her Muffy dog sometimes.
Okay.
But anyway, then I just do my typing, until 7, 8 o'clock. And that's it. Then the rest of the day I'm with Holly.
Do you ever cry? I mean, do you ever write a scene so emotional that it actually makes you cry?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, I have in the past. Well, I watch TV programs, I cry sometimes, so.
Yeah.
I've been doing that since I was a kid,
Is that right?
And I was sort of a bookworm, even though I was an athlete. I was a bookworm, a geek type thing, a nerd, what do you want to call it. So kids looked at me, bullying type thing.
Oh.
But, back then bullying wasn't really a term around. I mean, just you picked on kids.
But you know what's weird? Like, we do this radio show, and a lot of people say, did you listen to, and they name a radio show. So we really can't. You can't listen and do one at the same time. So is the same thing true if you're writing a book? You have a hard time actually reading books, too? Or do you read them and write them?
Oh, I read books. I read other authors' books, especially the authors at Rogue Phoenix Press. They have quite a few authors 30, 40, 50 authors. And we share books. We'll read each other's books, you know.
Isn't it amazing how language defines human existence? I mean, words are so important to us.
Oh, yes, they are. Yes, they are. You can say...
And stories are important to us.
Yeah, you can write a sentence and just the inflection in the words, and you put an asterisk at the end, or you put a question mark. I mean, that changed the whole sentence meaning. The punctuation at the end.
And the characters, but the dialogue though that you have between the characters, I mean, it's not the same kind of inflections in the voices. You've given each person their own particular voice and dialect.
Right, just like in real life. I mean, you and Larry both have different dialects, different vocabulary or sentence structure. You speak a little different, but yet you're the same. You know.
Yeah, we did that one time. Robin wrote down all the words she knew, and I wrote down all the words I knew. She had I think 3 or 4 composition books, and I was pretty much. I had about 100, I think.
Yeah, right.
You know what? If I read the Bible, you know what gets me all the time? Or when I read the news, from other places, is the names of people or the names of places when they're so hard. Now, your name is almost impossible to know that that's how it's pronounced.
Right.
But if I was reading a book and you were a character in the book, I would be mispronouncing it in my head the whole way.
That's right. Oh, yeah, that's very true. You know, I mean, I remember even years ago, I read a book and I thought this was what the character's name was, odd name. Yeah. And then when you hear it or actually hear somebody else say it, who was that? I don't remember that character.
Right.
You know, so yeah, that happens, sure.
Were you nervous doing the settings in familiar places in Ocala, in the town you grew up in?
No.
Oh no, it was okay with you. You were.
I wasn't nervous. No.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean, the book I'm writing now, I'm another place where I actually grew up in that. I'm writing about right now. It's in Florida, then goes to another state.
And see, I've always wondered why, when you are reading a book, why do they always set in Paris or New York? It almost seems like that's always the two places that
seems like it doesn't.
Yeah, and it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, most people aren't from Paris and New York.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people are, but it's kind of crazy, right? That we should have more books coming from Ocala. So that makes it awesome.
Well, it's like Tess Gerritsen, her books. She's a medical thriller writer. Her books deal around Boston, New York area, in the upper eastern coast. And same with Stephen King. His is usually in Maine and the northern eastern coast.
But is that where he lives?
Yes, that's where he lives.
Okay.
He lives in
that makes
Bangor,
sense.
Maine. So he writes in his area.
Like Hemingway. Did Hemingway write about the Keys?
Hemingway.
Or was that
Hemingway? I mean, he traveled.
Yeah, he was from everywhere.
Like John Steinbeck, he traveled out through the United States. So I mean, he didn't really stay. I mean, he got Mark Twain.
You're starting to get
Mark
that
Twain
Hemingway
always wrote
look,
about
by the
the
way.
South in his area. You write about what
look
you're
at you.
familiar
He's
with.
got the Hemingway thing going on, doesn't he?
Oh yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I need to go in that contest every year. Do you have a hero? Is one of the books that you read written by a particular author? Do you have an author who's one of your heroes?
Say that again.
Do you have an author that you're particularly fond of that might be considered one of your heroes or a mentor?
Well, yeah, I would say Tess Gerritsen. She's the one who really got me after reading her first books. I wrote short stories, I think, and the book came out. I started writing short stories 10 years ago, and I started reading her books, just happened to pick one up, start reading it, and then just read 18 of her books. And that just sort of inspired me. Well, I think I can do that, so...
Let me put the cover on the podcast again here. There's the cover. The book is called Strange. It is written by G.L. Didaleusky. There you go. I'll show it out the window. There you go. You want the book, sir? Yeah, he would like the book. Okay.
Sure.
It's yours. It's yours. You just come on in and you can get it. You already signed this to us.
Oh, here.
Is that right? Oh, you give him that one? Okay.
I'll give him this
all
one.
right.
Nice.
Let me put my name.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, you got to. Let's find out his name.
We'll find out who he is. Yeah, he seems to be interested. He's always stopping by when we're speaking to authors. I love when we have authors in the studio. It's so much better, Every once in a while, we'll convince somebody from wherever they're traveling through. So it's good to have a local. We have our listener coming in here. Oh, wow. We see you outside the window all the time.
This is Larry.
Yeah.
Hey, you got my name. I didn't know that.
I mean, I read a book a day.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Is that right?
This is Larry.
B-O-R-G.
This is Greg. Greg is the author of the book you're getting.
And you're going to love
Is this
it.
about dreams?
It starts off, but part of it's about dreams. Yes, sir.
And
Sorry.
a psychic
Well,
type
no, not really psychic.
experience?
It's a medical suspense with a touch of science fiction.
Okay.
Okay, and it takes place here in Cala.
Okay.
It's very good. Very well written.
Yeah. The children have terminal illnesses, and then they wake up cured. Yeah, I know. It's fascinating.
Well, I've read a lot of, like, Edgar Casey.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I read Edgar
Yeah.
Casey. We're very
Yeah.
much fans of Edgar Casey. Even
So
at
am
the
I.
museum.
I've been to the Dream Institute.
Have you
We've been-
really?
Yeah. up
We've
in
been we've been all along the East Coast and all that. You know, the Edgar Casey Institute. You know, where it's paranormal.
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
great.
Wow.
I've looked for some of his books, but, they're almost impossible.
Edgar Casey's books?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know, I think he didn't actually write any books. I think his son took his notes. And so he wasn't really out for fame and fortune.
No.
No,
He didn't.
Right?
He didn't ask for any money.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
my.
Edgar Casey. No.
His nurse wrote a lot.
Oh,
of
his nurse wrote a lot too.
Oh, it's just the nurse. Okay, I thought
no,
it was
the
the son.
secretary. I think it was, wasn't it?
Wow, we all know Edgar Casey. Who knew this? Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to love Greg's book because it's
Okay.
really well written.
Yeah.
It's good.
Well, nice to meet you, Larry.
Same
Thanks,
here.
Larry. I
It was good to
appreciate
see you
it.
coming in.
See you again. Bye-bye.
All right, so we have one happy customer. He's going to finish it in a day. Rob and I have to read a lot of books. I'll be honest
Oh,
with
I'll
you.
bet you.
She's unbelievably fast. I get
So
the
is
gist.
she. So
Are
is
you?
she.
Are you really?
I used to be.
Yeah, you still are. You read.
I get that whole Evelyn Woods, whatever the thing was, the speed reading
Oh,
course.
yeah.
I failed it.
I didn't ever take. I didn't.
I didn't care for the class.
I just think it's more enjoyable for me personally to take and savor a book. I don't know if that makes sense. Does that sound right to you?
Oh yes, I agree. I read. I don't read. I read relatively fast, but I just like. Sometimes I read the paragraph again.
Yeah, yeah, I do too.
To make sure
All
I got
the time,
it right.
actually, yeah.
And I don't think it has to do with your comprehension. It's just that I just want the way she writes things. Because I look at it as an author perspective when I read like Tess Gerritsen or anybody other writer, how they wrote that, how they presented the scene, or how they ended the scene. That's important too, called transition from one scene to another.
And I'm not even going to say anymore because it's a wonderful book. It really is. It's really great.
It is called Strange, and I get there's another copy, but that one's got our names in it, so
Yes,
we're going to
it's
keep
for
that one.
us.
But you can go buy it. It's available. Do you like the modern technology, the Kindle and all that?
Oh yeah, it's on
Yeah,
Kindle.
it's on Kindle?
It's on iTunes. It's on Koba. It's on everything.
Oh, I found it.
There's like 20 different venues
Oh,
that
my.
it's sold through, so you can get it anywhere.
Okay.
You go to Barnes and Noble or even Books a Million. You can order it through them.
That's
Also.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Frightening dreams night after night are afflicting the chief of pediatrics, Adam Stafford, at Ocala Regional Medical Center. Will there be a conclusion of his dreams, or will he succumb to a death spiral before he can awake? Oh my gosh! Do you write when you on the stuff on Amazon? Do you write that?
I write that. Yeah, I write the blurbs. They're called blurbs.
blurb,
Yeah, I
okay.
write that.
Good to see you guys again. So we'll see you in a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's coming out. I think the one coming out is going to be completely different than when I'm Strange.
If
Oh,
I
my.
click on your name, it shows me a whole bunch of books. Is this your
Yeah.
entire body of work, or is there more?
There's 5 books.
There's more books, or the short stories. Are they ever going to be compiled?
They're right there. You read it last year.
Oh, that was that one. Okay, all right.
Called The Strange Horizon.
Okay, yeah, I remember that one. Yeah,
short stories.
We do so many. Greg and Holly, thank you both for coming in.
Thank you. Appreciate
Enjoy your summer, and
You
thank you
too.
for giving us something fun to read this summer with a local setting.
Yes.
in it,
Okay.
right? Yeah. Everybody else, the book takes place in Ocala. It's called Strange. We have to go. We'll push some music and then get out of here. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Holly.
it. Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Chris Foster. The June jobs report is out from the Labor Department in D.C., where Fox Business Network's Edward Lawrence reports.
The unemployment rate actually rose to 4% in June. The job market created 213,000 jobs. That breaks down to 202,000 jobs in the private sector and 11,000 jobs in the public sector.
The unemployment rate last month was 3.8%. A volunteer diver has died installing oxygen in the caves where a boys' soccer team is trapped in Thailand. Oxygen levels are dropping and the boys may have to dive out.
Another volunteer cave diver, Ivan Karadzic from Denmark, says a challenging mission lies ahead.
Most cave divers will have training to rescue other cave divers, but rescuing kids out of the cave, that is new to most of us.